As Hannah has stated, it's time for the U.S. federal government to allow the average, everyday citizen access to parenting classes so that we can become a better nation. Currently, the government offers programs only for abusers and neglectful parents, and not for everyday parents that want to learn how to take care of their kids. As Hannah said before, how many non-parents in here know what is a fever for an infant? How many non-parents in here know how much their child should be sleeping? This is what these people would learn in the classes. So, in order to stop this vicious cycle of abusers becoming the abused, and then them, in turn, growing up, having children, and abusing their children, the U.S. government must establish free parenting classes for everybody. Our plan is simple. The federal government offers parenting classes free of charge to all parents when they have their first child. These classes will be taught in a classroom, not online. Now, Ellie said that you can't cookie-cutter a parenting class because it differs on region and stuff like that. But that's the beauty of being taught in a classroom. When it's taught in a classroom, the teacher can teach regional things and religious things, and if you have any questions, the teacher will be able to answer them as opposed to a computer, which will not. So, each class would consist of a 2-hour class focusing on a part of child development. The first class would be offered, you would have to, in order to be licensed, you would have to go to this class in the first 6 months after you have your child. This class would teach you about the infant stage of life and some important things to know and tips and tricks of being a parent. So, such as how much to feed them. This will be the first in a cycle of about 6 classes over the span of 3 years. We believe that 6 months between each class is plenty of time. And if the negative says that parents won't be able to devote enough time to these classes, it's 6 months between each class. So that's plenty of time to find the time for your children. So, even after the parents complete these classes, they're given hotlines if they ever need help or have an emergency, such as the Boys Town National Hotline. So, to pay for all this, we propose an additional tax on all U.S. citizens. This tax would pay not only for the class, but also for the instructors. However, if you become licensed, you do not have to pay the tax. That means, if you consciously choose to not get licensed, to not better your children's lives and your parenting, then you will have to pay the tax. However, if you choose to make the right decision, you don't have to pay it. So, the negative might argue that we don't have the money. We're in a huge deficit right now. But according to the Pew Charitable Trust report, $103.8 billion is the cost of all the abused and neglected children in America. This is about $33 billion was spent on direct effects, such as foster care and hospitalization of abused and neglected children. And over $7 billion was spent on indirect factors, such as loss of productivity and the criminal justice system. This means that this program will pay for itself 100 times over. And aside from that, it will make our nation a better place. So, as you can see, by focusing on prevention and instituting parenting classes, we will end up saving our country money and protect our future. Thank you.